Welcome, tennis fans from around the world. We have an absolutely explosive development brewing on the red clay of Rome. The atmosphere at the Foro Italico is already electric, but the latest draw developments have sent shockwaves not just through the stadium, but across the entire tennis landscape. All of Italy is shocked, and fans globally are sitting on the edge of their seats because we are staring down the barrel of a potential, highly anticipated rematch at the WTA 1000 Italian Open. The rising Filipina sensation, Alexandra Eala, is on a collision course with the Ukrainian powerhouse, Marta Kostyuk. If you've been following the Women's Tennis Association Tour, you know exactly why this specific matchup carries an immense, almost suffocating amount of gravity. This is not just another match on the calendar. This is a story of redemption, of rapid evolution, and of two of the most fiercely competitive young athletes in the sport potentially going head-to-head on one of tennis's most historic and demanding stages. We are talking about the Internazionale BNL d'Italia, a tournament where legends are forged and where the grueling nature of European red clay exposes every single flaw in a player's game. To truly understand the magnitude of this potential clash, we have to rewind the clock to last year's Italian Open. Picture the grandstand arena in May. The sun is beating down on the crushed brick. A teenage Alexandra Eala, carrying the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders, steps onto the court against Marta Kostyuk in the first round. What followed was a harsh, unforgiving initiation into the absolute top tier of women's tennis. Kostyuk, with her blistering pace and aggressive baseline dominance, dismantled the young Filipina. The final scoreline was a brutal 6-0, 6-1. It was a complete shutout, a match where Kostyuk won over 80% of her first serve points and broke Eala's serve repeatedly, leaving a highly touted prospect with almost no answers. It was a kind of heavy defeat that can shatter a young player's confidence, the kind of loss that echoes in the locker room and leaves lingering psychological scars. But here is where the narrative shifts from a story of defeat to a story of spectacular resilience. Alexandra Eala did not break. She did not retreat to the lower-tier circuits to hide. Instead, she absorbed the brutal lesson dealt by Kostyuk and used it as the ultimate catalyst for her own metamorphosis. Fast forward to today, and we are looking at a completely transformed Alexandra Eala. She has shattered records, climbing up the WTA rankings to world number 42, becoming the highest-ranked Filipino player in the history of the WTA Tour. She has evolved from a promising junior into a legitimate, battle-tested professional who now routinely trades blows with the world's elite. And now, the tennis gods have aligned the draw to present her with the ultimate test, a potential rematch against the very woman who handed her that devastating loss. This is the definition of a blockbuster narrative. The Italian crowd, known for their deep passion and appreciation for dramatic storylines, recognizes attention. They know that if these two step onto the court together again, it will not be a repeat of last year. It will be an absolute war. Let us dive deep into the mechanics, the psychology, and the tactical nuances of this monumental potential matchup. To appreciate the gap that Alexandra Eala has closed over the past year, we must first analyze exactly what makes Marta Kostyuk such an incredibly dangerous opponent, particularly on the surface. Kostyuk is a phenomenal athlete. Her game is built on a foundation of explosive power and aggressive court positioning. She does not wait for her opponents to make mistakes. She actively forces them by taking the ball early and driving it deep into corners. During that infamous 6-0, 6-1 victory last year, Kostyuk was a masterclass in controlled aggression. She hit deep, heavy returns that completely neutralized Eala's serve, winning an astronomical percentage of receiving points. Kostyuk is also incredibly adept at changing the rhythm of a rally. She can flatten out her forehand to hit clean winners, or she can roll heavy topspin to push her opponent back into the fences. On the red clay of Rome, where the ball sits up slightly higher and the court rewards those who can generate their own pace, Kostyuk's brand of first-strike tennis is lethal. Her movement is dynamic, allowing her to slide effortlessly into shots and recover quickly, effectively shrinking the court for whoever is on the other side of the net. Now, let's examine the evolution of Alexandra Eala. How do you recover from winning only one game in a WTA 1000 main draw match? For Eala, The answer was found in the grinding, unglamorous hours of practice and a relentless commitment to physical and tactical improvement. Training extensively at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain, she has essentially rebuilt her game to withstand the heavy artillery of the top 50. The Eala of today is physically stronger, faster, and significantly more durable than she was 12 months ago. Her left-handed game, which has always been her natural weapon, has been sharpened into a much more dangerous tool. In the past, players like Kostyuk could overpower her off the court, exploiting her defensive movement. Today, Eala holds a baseline with far more authority. She is stepping into the court, taking the ball on a rise, and using her heavy lefty forehand to create severe angles that stretch her opponents off the court. More importantly, Eala's serve has undergone a critical transformation. Last year, Kostyuk feasted on her second serve. It was a glaring vulnerability. Recognizing this, Eala and her coaching team have clearly put in the work. Her first serve percentage has stabilized, and she has added much-needed kick-in placement to her second serve, preventing opponents from stepping in and teeing off on the return. But the physical improvements are only half the story. The most significant change in Alexandra Eala is her mental fortitude. Over the past several months, she has navigated deep runs in high-pressure tournaments, securing vital wins that have calloused her mind. We have even seen her stepping onto the doubles court with Grand Slam champions like Coco Gauff, an experience that provides invaluable insight into mindset and preparation of the absolute best in the world. When you share a court with a major champion, you absorb their aura, their expectation of winning, and their refusal to panic under pressure. Eala has absorbed these lessons. She now carries herself with the quiet confidence of a player who knows she belongs on the stadium courts. If this rematch materializes, the tactical battle will be a fascinating chess match. For Marta Kostyuk, the game plan will likely be a continuation of last year's strategy, but with the understanding that she is facing a much sturdier wall. Kostyuk will try to assert dominance early, hitting big targets and looking to dictate play with her forehand. She will aim to pressure Eala's backhand side, trying to rush the Filipina and force short balls that she can step in and put away. Kostyuk will also look to exploit the slower, heavier conditions of the Italian clay by utilizing drop shots and acute angles to drag Eala out of her comfort zone. Kostyuk's confidence will be high, knowing she has a dominant head-to-head record, but she must guard against complacency. An overconfident player can quickly find themselves overwhelmed when an opponent suddenly starts returning balls that used to be winners. For Alexandra Eala, the tactical blueprint for revenge is complex but entirely achievable. First and foremost, she must protect her serve at all costs. She cannot allow Kostyuk to dictate the opening terms of the rally. Eala needs a high first serve percentage, and she must mix up her locations to keep the Ukrainian guessing. Once in the rally, Eala's primary objective must be depth. If she drops the ball short, Kostyuk will punish her immediately. Eala must use heavy topspin to keep the ball deep in the court, pushing Kostyuk behind the baseline and neutralizing her aggressive intent. The key to unlocking Kostyuk's defense will be Eala's lefty forehand. She needs to use that cross-court forehand to pin Kostyuk into her backhand corner, and then strike down the line when the court opens up. Furthermore, Eala must be willing to suffer. Clay court tennis is a war of attrition. There will be grueling 20-shot rallies. Her lungs will burn, and her legs will feel like lead. She must embrace the physical suffering and prove to Kostyuk that she is willing to stay on the court for 3 hours, if that is what it takes to get the victory. Beyond the tactics, the psychological component of this potential rematch is absolutely immense. Think about the mental weight Eala will carry on to that court. The memory of the 6-0, 6-1 thrashing will undoubtedly be present in her mind. But athletes at this level use those memories not as anchors, but as fuel. Eala has the opportunity to walk onto the very same grounds, at the exact same tournament, and completely rewrite the script. She can prove to herself, to Kostyuk, and to the entire tennis world that she is no longer the overwhelmed teenager from a year ago. It is a chance to exorcise her demons on global television. Kostyuk, on the other hand, faces a different kind of pressure, the pressure of expectation. Everyone expects her to win again based on their history. If Eala comes out firing, hitting her spots, and matching Kostyuk's intensity, the pressure will squarely shift to the Ukrainian shoulders. We have seen players tighten up when an opponent they previously dominated suddenly presents a massive challenge. Kostyuk will need to dig deep into her own mental reserves to find the answers if her initial game plan fails. The surface itself plays a massive role in this narrative. The Foro Italico is a unique venue. The clay here plays differently than in Madrid or Paris. The weather in May can fluctuate, making the courts incredibly heavy and slow on damp days, or slick and fast when the sun is baking the terracotta. Both players must be masters of adaptation. The heavy conditions generally favor the player who can generate their own pace and maintain extreme physical endurance. This is where Eala's intense physical conditioning over the past year will be put to the ultimate test. The sliding, the recovery, the ability to transition from defense to offense on a surface that inherently slows the ball down. These are the micro skills that will decide the match. Every single point will be a miniature battle of wills. This potential matchup is also a testament to the incredible depth and globalization of women's tennis right now. On one side, you have the pride of the Philippines, a nation with massive, incredibly passionate sports fan base that treats Eala's matches like national holidays. The support she receives, both online and in person, is truly a phenomenon. On the other side, you have a proud Ukrainian athlete who plays with a fierce, patriotic fire, representing her country with incredible dignity and strength on the global stage. The clash of these two distinct backgrounds, these two wildly different paths to the top of the sport, adds an incredible layer of cultural significance to the match. The Italian crowd, sophisticated and highly appreciative of good tennis, will undoubtedly be vocal. They love a fighter, and they love a comeback story. If Eala starts to push Kostyuk, you can expect the stadium to rally behind the underdog, creating a gladiatorial atmosphere that is unique to the Rome Masters. This is the beauty of the WTA 1000 events. There are no easy matches, no places to hide. From a very first round, the intensity is dialed up to its absolute maximum. For Alexandra Eala, this tournament represents a massive opportunity to solidify her status as a genuine force on the tour. A strong showing here, particularly a victory over a player of Kostyuk's caliber, would not just be a numerical boost to her ranking. It would be a statement of intent. It would signal to the rest of the locker room that she has officially arrived and that the crushing defeats of her past were merely stepping stones to greatness. For Marta Kostyuk, it is about maintaining her hierarchy, proving that her aggressive brand of tennis is consistently elite, and brushing aside the challenges of the younger generation trying to usurp her position as we look ahead to the possibility of this breathtaking encounter. The anticipation is simply off the charts. The potential rematch between Alexandra Eala and Marta Kostyuk at the WTA 1000 Italian Open is everything we love about the sport of tennis wrapped into one high-stakes contest. It offers us the drama of a rivalry born out of a lopsided defeat, the intrigue of contrasting playing styles, and the absolute certainty that both women will leave every ounce of their energy on the red clay of Rome. It is a testament to the brutal, unforgiving, yet beautiful nature of professional tennis, where yesterday's devastating loss can be transformed into tomorrow's glorious triumph. Think about the sheer narrative weight resting on this single match. If they step onto court together, it will not just be about advancing to the next round. It will be about proving a point. For Alexandra Eala, it is the ultimate measuring stick to see exactly how far she has climbed since that fateful day last year. Has the grueling physical training paid off? Has the mental conditioning transformed her into a big match player? Can the pride of the Philippines stand toe-to-toe with one of the most powerful ball strikers on the tour and hold her ground? The entire country will be watching, holding their collective breath with every swing of her racket. The phenomenal rise of Eala has captured the imagination of millions, and a victory here will be a landmark moment in the history of Philippine sports. For Marta Kostyuk, the objective is to assert her dominance, to remind the rising star that the top tier of women's tennis is fiercely guarded territory. She will want to step out under the Italian sun and replicate the clinical, ruthless efficiency that brought her success in their last meeting. But she knows, as well as we do, that she is facing a completely different animal this time around. The dynamic has shifted, the element of surprise is gone, and the battle lines are clearly drawn. This is why we tune in. This is why the stadiums are packed, and why millions of viewers stay glued to their screens. We want to see how these supreme athletes handle the suffocating pressure. We want to see the adjustments, the sheer willpower, and the spectacular shot-making that only happens when two competitors are pushed to their absolute limits. The Foro Italico is ready. The clay is meticulously groomed. The stage is set for a showdown that could very well be the defining match of the tournament. Now, I want to hear from all of you. The tennis community is always buzzing with predictions and analysis, and this potential matchup is as polarizing as it gets. Do you believe that Alexandra Eala has developed the physical and mental tools to turn the tables and exact a revenge on the red clay? Or do you think Marta Kostyuk's explosive power and previous mental edge will once again be too much for the Filipina star to handle? Drop your predictions, your tactical breakdowns, and your thoughts on this incredible storyline in the comments below. Let us get a massive discussion going as we gear up for what promises to be an unforgettable chapter at the Italian Open. Thank you so much for joining me for this comprehensive deep dive into the most exciting potential matchup in Rome. Make sure to stay tuned for all the latest updates, live coverage, and post-match analysis as the drama unfolds at the WTA 1000 Internazionale BNL d'Italia. The action is only just beginning, and you will not want to miss a single second of it. Enjoy the incredible tennis, and I will see you next time